It's Chelsea Messenger with Picks and Parlays. The NFL is rolling on in week 3. We've got a nice little deal, 15% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net if you use the code SCC. We're talking Lions and Cardinals. Cardinals favored in this one, -5.5. Total is 55. The Lions are 0-2 straight up and also against the spread. Cardinals 2-0 against the spread and straight up. Sean Higgs is joining us to talk some NFL action. Sean, initial thoughts on this Lions and Cardinals matchup?
My initial thought is, how does Matt Patricia still have a job in the NFL? This guy, I mean, really, some guys you're just a good coordinator. Stick with being a coordinator. 11 straight losses. How about 10 double-digit leads that they've blown, and they're 3-7 in those games? Just horrible. Horrible. What's there to say? He's terrible. I like the over here. Arizona, I'm holding future tickets. I got Arizona for the West. I got Kyle Murray MVPs. He's a little slow out of the gate. 2 passing TDs, 3 rushing TDs. But I think we're going to see some points here. I got Galladay's back for Detroit, and we see them. They can put up points. That's no problem. They got some offense. Stafford, Matt Stafford should be called like Stat Padford, because all he does is the team gets down or he's up or down, he just starts throwing the ball, and some guy's got 1,200 yards receiving on the season and 13 TDs. So they're going to get their points. Arizona, Hopkins and Fitzgerald, they're pretty much the main 2 targets, and Hopkins, he's awesome. But again, hasn't really been in the end zone, so I'm expecting big games out of them. I like Drake. They beat San Francisco. You knew that was going to be kind of a close kind of grudge match. They took care of the Redskins, who defense is pretty good. I know it looked like a big blowout win for Arizona, but that Redskin defense, they bring it. They got a tough front 7. No defense here for Detroit shown. All right, so they're going to give up 34, 40 here. I'm expecting something high scoring. I think Murray's going to go, let's go 300 through the air and 100 on the ground. I think it's going to be a really crazy high-scoring game here. And listen, I think people agree because they opened at 51 and now it's at 55. So definitely on the move. I'm on the over. And please, for Detroit Lion fans' sake, get rid of the head coach.
Well, I think he still has a job because he came from that New England coaching tree, which everybody loves to pluck from. But at some point, you've got to look at results. But I'm on the Cardinals in this one, -5.5, for one of the reasons that you pointed out. The Cardinals have actually played well and won 2 games against 2 good defenses. Granted, Washington is still on the come up, but they do have some solid pieces, and Ron Rivera is a good defensive coach. And the 49ers, of course, had one of the best defenses in all of the league last season, and they still managed to put points on those 2 teams. Plus, this Lions secondary got picked apart by Aaron Rodgers and Mitch Trubisky. Granted, that was mostly the 4th quarter, but that screams bad matchup for me here, especially with how Kyler Murray is looking this season. I think Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins continue to put up some big numbers here, and I like the Cardinals to cover.
Good. I agree. Listen, I kind of look at it like, man, why isn't this game at least a touchdown? Because of how bad Detroit's been. But again, this is still a young kind of Arizona team. It's still the Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury, good-looking guy, still got a lot to prove as a head coach. So I think that's why we see kind of a little line here, as opposed to.
Well, I think his offenses have been really good. I think the issue is, can their defense make the stops? And they'll have to do it against a really prolific quarterback here. As you mentioned, Matt Stafford can put up incredibly high numbers when he wants to. And I always wonder what kind of numbers he would have had if Megatron wouldn't have retired. That's going to do it for our betting talk on the Lions and the Cardinals here on Picks and Parlay. Sean Higgs, always great stuff. Thanks for joining us, Sean.